Hi, I'm Jenna, and you're listening to the Book of Jenna. And our last three episodes, we have just still been talking about showing up and not sucking and different ways that we can do that. And some of the obstacles that I've encountered along the way that will hopefully help you as well. And along with some nuggets that I have found that work for me, and maybe you can plug them into your life and they can work for you as well. So, um, I just got back from this wonderful trip to see one of my oldest friends. I just love her so much. And our friendship has spanned quite a few lifetimes because, we change and evolve so much. And I'm so grateful that through all of our life changes, we have always held on to our friendship and stayed in contact. And so, um, she's such a beautiful person, and she's one of those that I admire so much. I have no clue why this always makes me want to cry when I get to this point, and it's not sad tears, it's just tears of comfort and appreciation. But she's just a beautiful soul, and she reminded me, with probably out even knowing, how to be consistent and show up even when you don't want to. Um, she is that person, and she shows up for everyone she loves in the best way she can with the most enthusiasm all the time. And I just love her for it. I love her for what she represents and who she is. And I thought that it was such a perfect timing for me to go there and sit on her couch and just be with her. Because she reminded me that even in that stagnant phase where things are just starting or they're just ending, and a chapter could just be beginning, but it's not quite there yet, to show up and still be consistent. And that, I think, is one of the most beautiful things, is that she's consistent. Life around her may not be, but always she always does what she says, as long as something crazy doesn't happen, right? But she always does what she says. And I admire that so much about her. And it was that, I don't know, that nudge, I guess, maybe from the universe that I needed to just remind me that as long as you're consistent, everything's going to be okay. Everything else will fall in place. And consistency looks different for everyone. For me, it's consistently showing up in this podcast. It's consistently showing up for my family, but it's also consistently showing up for myself, which I hadn't been doing. I had been showing up for everybody else in so many ways, but one thing I said to her, and she just kind of looked at me like strangely, and I was like, oh, snap. Like, I needed that gentle, like, what? Because I told her, like, I have barely gone to the gym. I've barely gone to the gym the last couple of months. And she was just like, what? Really? And I was like, oh, really though? Like, that's like the one place where I show up for myself, and it's the showing up even if you suck. It's showing up even if the energy I have for today is like 30-minute workout and 10 minutes in the sauna. It's showing up because I feel better when I show up and I do something rather than nothing. And like, I've always felt like the gym is a place where I take care of myself, right? And sometimes I don't feel like I have the energy to. Um or I use the fact that, like, oh, my knees hurt today. Well, my knees hurt every day. Like, that's the biggest cop out. My knees have hurt for the last 20 years. Um it's a cop out. And so it was beautiful to see her and just have her look at me like that, even though I know it was innocent. It was just one of those, like, I can't believe this because I know how much you love it. And that's exactly how I felt after it came out of my mouth. I can't believe I just said that because I know how much I love it. So We as a family are kind of like gypsies and we never really know where we want to land. We dream of lots of dreams when it comes to moving or our future. And I always feel like I'm living in this stagnant period. I'm waiting for my podcast. I'm waiting to figure out where we want to stay. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for that. And when I went to see my friend, I was like reminded that I cannot live my life like that. And that you have to take action. And I know I did a podcast on this. I understand. And I do take action in some ways, but I'm not taking action on my life. I'm still waiting for other areas to, I don't know, catch up, get with the program, like be on board, right? And so that is really stifling and hard and uncomfortable. And it's very, it's useless. At least that's how it feels to me. I feel like I'm just wasting and being just wasting, right? Okay. So, um, I went to the gym this morning and I felt so good being in there. Like I forgot about the energy that is in the gym and how you can't make excuses once you're there, and how once you show up, you move properly and you get another burst of energy almost, right? Like I felt like I could have gone for another 30 to 40 minutes in the gym. And I'm like, girl, you have not been here in a minute. You need to pace yourself. So obviously I did. But like, I felt so good once I got there. Same with this podcast. You guys, I haven't wanted to record in a couple days. I just haven't felt the energy to do it. And I was like, today, I'm like, if I don't do it today, like it, I'm not going to continue to reach the goal I desire. And now that I'm here, I feel so much better. I feel better that I showed up. I feel better that I came and I shared my message with people because it's what I said I would do. And I often tell people to read the four agreements. And one of them is being impeccable with your word. And I'll tell people, be impeccable with your word. But you know what? Your word starts with you. And I was not being impeccable with my word to myself. And so that's where I think a lot of this starts is like with yourself. You may not be able to show up for other people in the capacity that you would like to right now, but you've got to show up for yourself. You've got to say, okay, I have told myself for the last 5 years, I was finally going to I was finally going to go skydiving. Do it. Keep good things for, keep good agreements with yourself. And if you have been waiting for the last 5 years to get off the couch and go to the gym, do it. If you've been waiting to make that digital marketing download business you wanted to do, here's your sign. Go do it. You've been saying you want to, and yet you haven't been. And, I feel like we often think of ourselves last. And I don't think that's what this journey is about. I think that this journey is about you and keeping your promises and learning yourself and understanding how you work. Because I think once you understand how you work, that's when your real power shows and you can show up for other people, because you know that, you know what, for me, showing up for other people looks like you've got between the hours of 10 and 3. And if you don't hit me in those hours, I'm really not that good for you. Like I can show up for you, but that's not when my battery is the brightest. And you really can't get me after 5. But I just think that like This trip for me was one of those where it's like, what do you do with that stagnant energy? How do we move it around while you're waiting for your business to take off, while you're waiting for your location to be revealed, while you're waiting for whatever it is you're waiting for right now, put it in the blank. So, how do you get through that stagnant energy? And so, here are some of the things that I have thought of. One, I think you can't be a victim of your circumstance. And I feel like I was a little bit of mine because I was using it as an excuse. Well, I don't want to do anything yet because we're not settled and I don't know if we're going to settle here. Okay, but if I don't like intertwine with the community, how am I going to know if I like it here? And that was one big thing that was a huge revelation for me on this trip was, of course I don't like it here. I haven't done anything to like it here. And so that is a big one. So that is my like mission this week is to get back to the things, get back into the community, do things that I really love to do because not doing them is more detrimental than doing them. And sometimes that's the thing, right? Not doing whatever you are waiting for or whatever uh, whatever excuse you're using is more detrimental to you than just doing it. So that has definitely been something where I'm like, okay, you just got to do it. You just have to put yourself out there. Like this podcast. How am I ever going to help more people if I don't put myself out there? How am I ever going to help people change their perspective or see their full potential if I don't give them anything? Not saying that like I'm the end all be all of things, but saying like if I don't share my nuggets of the things that I'm learning, what good is that? I'm not improving anybody's life and I can help you reach your goal faster because I can see it differently. And vice versa. You guys probably hear things during this podcast that give you a even different view than what I had when I said it. And if that's so, I would love to hear them. I think it's fascinating, and who knows what can build off of that. So there's that for that. But we have to take action in order to move the energy. The stagnant energy is still energy. And I think that if you sit stagnant too long, that's when you become the victim of your stagnation. And I don't know. I just think that that is like, I guess for me, that was quite the revelation that I had that it's pretty big for me. So there you go, you guys. But I just feel like we get complacent or we get in that closed off space, right? Where we kind of close ourselves off and then we're like, no, we're not going to do that because we're not ready. And then we're never ready because we don't do anything to get ready. And then what are we doing? Nothing. We're doing nothing. And then we're upset because we did nothing. And so there we go. That's okay. That's my big beef today, apparently, you guys. I'm so sorry. Um, but also, I think part of it is, I don't even know what I think part of it is. I had some notes written down, but I don't know. I think I've gone too far away from them. Okay. Well, actually, no, I haven't. Just kidding. So, how do you stay encouraged to keep going when the outer world hasn't started shifting? And I think that last statement, right? We have to take action. You have to take action so that you can see the outside start shifting, even if it's from the inside, right? Like for me personally, I've decided, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to pretend like this is where I'm going to live for the rest of my life. I'm never going to leave here. This is where I'm at forever and ever. Amen. And now I'm going to act like it. And then I think you will see things start shifting. Either you're going to find out, I really love it here, or you're going to find out this doesn't have everything to offer me that I would like to see. Either way, you get the answer. But if you sit and you stay stagnant and you don't take action, you don't get any answers. And so I think like having that that action, whether it's if you go to the gym and let's say you're afraid to go to the gym, but you really want to go to the gym. But what if you don't like the gym? Just start taking action. Why don't you find a dance class? Why don't you go for a walk? Why don't you do some push ups at home? Why don't you just start moving your body and see what your body likes? Maybe your body would rather go for a run. Maybe your body would rather dance classes. Maybe your body would rather swim. But if you don't take the action to find out what your body wants, you're always going to sit on the couch. And you're always going to say, "Oh, well, I should go to the gym." But what if you're not taking action because the gym isn't where you want to be? And I guess that could go back to where you live, but I feel like moving's a lot harder than just going to a different workout place. You know what I mean? Those are more easy to go between than, say, picking up your entire family and moving. But you get what I'm saying. You have to take action in order to find out if you like it or if you don't. If you always sit on the couch and wonder, then you're always going to wonder. And so um I think also having a good support system, like my friend. Listen, she probably has no clue that I got as much out of that trip as I did. But it was just such a gift. It was such a gift to be with someone who has been my friend through all my ups and downs, who has seen me at my drunken worst, but who has also seen me at my sober best and has loved me through all of that. And I think having support of people who love you, who want you to live your best life is so important. And you know the people who don't support you 100%. They're the people that say negative statements. They're the people who encourage you to stay where you are. They're people who don't see you. Okay, I'm going to say this and I hope it comes out okay. They're the people who don't see you on the same level as them. That came out how I wanted it to. I love that. So, what I mean by that is they're the people who, if you go higher than them, it's personal. As opposed to if you go higher than them, they're really excited to get to your level too. Like they cheer you on no matter what. Those are the people you want showing up for you, not people who are telling you to stay in the box, right? Like we're out of the box already. We got out on episode 3, so we're not back in on episode 4. We're going to stay out of the box. And having a support system that can see your full potential and can see you playing it small is really important. And I always thought it was crazy when people would say like you are who your friends are, right? You are who your friends are. If they're, doing good things, you're going to be doing good things. If they're doing bad things, you're going to be doing bad things. And I think it was probably around my 30s when I really started like really evaluating my friends and the people that I had in my life. And you know, I've really cut out a lot of people who see me at a small level. Um, I've done a really good job of weeding out people who cannot see my full potential because they can't see their own. Um, and I think that when you have people in your circle who can't see their own potential, you typically end up shrinking yourself back down. And when you're in that stagnant energy phase, it's really easy to shrink down because you aren't taking the action. So therefore, you're consenting to anyone's opinion of you that is in your circle that says you can't because you're telling them that they're right. And I don't like telling people that they're right. I will tell you you're right if you're right, but I hate it. It's not for me. I love to be right. So you can imagine me talking to my friends and gassing them up and telling them that they can do anything and that they can be anything and they can do this and that and blah, 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 blah. But they don't have the belief enough to do it themselves. Y'all, it makes me wrong. I hate it. I don't want to be wrong. So, um, check your support system. Are they confirming that you're right or are they confirming that you're wrong? Because I want people who I can say, like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym today. And they're like, yeah, you are. And I go and they're like, yeah, you did. Because then I allow them to be right. So in this stagnant energy that I'm sitting in, where I am on episode 4 of 21, 22, because we got to get past 21, episode 4 of 22, um, I'm not going to be stagnant. I'm going to go and I'm going to pretend and I'm going to believe that this is exactly how I want my life. And I'm going to conduct myself as such because why not? Why not? I want to be able to tell people I have this beautiful, successful podcast where I get to help women see their full potential and allow them to know that you're human. Life is hard, but it can still be happy and it can still be joyful and it can still be a beautiful life, even if at times it is hard. And I want to say that with my whole chest when I tell them because I think it's important. And I think it's important that you also do the things that you want to do. I think it's important you go to the gym. I think it's important that you travel if that's something that's important to you this year. I think it's important that you start your business if that's something that you believe in and that is on your heart because you can literally do anything. I think women also often forget our power and we forget how important we are to the world and that without us, none of this would be. But we let people strip us of our power and we let people strip us of our strength. And when we're in this stagnant period, I'm going to try to every night think about my power and what that means to me because it's very personal. What your power is, what your strength is, what your gifts are. We're all different. And that's the beautiful thing about us. But I'm going to journal or at least have a thought process about what my gifts are and how I use them today and how they helped my day for good or for evil, because we all have both powers, right? And it's up to you to choose how to use them. And I'm going to start, because it is a stagnant, slower pace. We have a little extra time to sit with ourselves. And I want to encourage you to do that. Get to know who you are, get to know your gifts, get to know why you're staying stagnant, get to know why you're putting yourself in that box and why you're proving the wrong people right and the right people wrong. Because I think that once we do that, I think we get more of our power and we get to create a less stagnant future where there's energy around what we're doing and there's excitement around our lives and there's happiness. Because, like I said, life can be hard, but there can still be joy and happiness in every day. It's up to you to find it, it's up to you to create it. And so, my thoughts for you this time are to create action. Just do it. Move, change, be who you want to be, and create the life that excites you and makes you happy to wake up in the morning and almost sad to go to sleep because you don't want it to end. We deserve that. You deserve that. And I know you're worthy of it. And I know you're powerful enough to do it. But you have to decide that you are. And you have to believe that you are. And you have to prove people wrong. You have to prove to them that you are capable of anything you set your mind to, because that's who you are and that's who you were created to be. And that's who I believe you're capable of being. If I can do this, you can do this. So after you listen to this, I hope that you feel more encouraged to move through the stagnant periods, the waiting periods, with action. Action that excites you and action that creates movement in a way that you've never seen before. Much love, my friends.